This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, go to squarespace.com and use the discount code MacVoices. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at Macworld iWorld 2014 in San Francisco. We're going to take a little detour from our normal coverage of the show to talk to Neil Ticktin about the MacTech conferences and some of the news that came out this week that's very relevant to what his set of conferences is going to be offering. It's great to see you, Neil.
And you as well, Chuck. It's always a pleasure.
It is, and this is the last day of the shows we do this, and I think at least I'm a little punchy. You look great.
Well, I'm a little punchy too. I'm just trying to hide it a little bit more, But it's day 4 of stuff because it was Mac IT conference, which was awesome, and Macworld's been great and whatnot. So it's been really, it's a lot of energy and people to go.
Absolutely, it's been a great show. But bring us up to date on what's new with MacTech,
Sure.
And then we'll get into some of the news that's affecting you.
Yeah, so just kind of a quick review of stuff. We have 2 types of events for MacTech this year. We have MacTech Bootcamp and we have MacTech Conference. MacTech Conference is our flagship event towards the end of the year and whatnot. That's for IT pros and enterprise. But MacTech Bootcamp is awesome because it's about really just consultants who are serving the small to medium-sized business market, or maybe higher-end consumers, or supporting really other people, help desks and education institutions, that kind of stuff that's out there. So we're covering some really, really important technologies and bringing people, into the fold of new ways to be thinking things on all kinds of stuff related to security and mobility and deployment and storage and backups and, things that people need to know fairly deeply in order to do their job well. Even the most experienced techs are finding that they're learning a bunch of stuff at the events this year. And those events are all over the place. And we've talked about that before, that this year we're in Seattle and San Francisco and Austin, Denver, Chicago, Boston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Toronto. So there's 9 cities for boot camp this year, most of which are ahead of us still. And that's all great stuff. But the afternoon before every MacTech Bootcamp is the Microsoft Office for Mac Accredited Support Professional course and exam. And it's a program that you can only do if you come to MacTech Bootcamp. And we've been putting this on behalf of Microsoft on it. They send a Microsoft trainer in. There's a specific exam. If you pass the exam, you become Microsoft accredited. Not MacTech accredited, Microsoft accredited. And it's the only way you can do this on the Office for Mac and Apple technologies. Now, what we've been talking about is Office for Mac 2011, Office 365. There's all kinds of stuff that people have no idea about on Office 365 that, it's interesting how people really walk away with so much different impression, and because that's once they really see what it can do. But now, a couple weeks ago, Microsoft said, we're going to announce OneNote for Mac. OneNote for iOS has actually been there, in the past, but OneNote for Mac is not something a lot of Apple consultants and techs and people in support places know about. And it's very, very prevalent on the Windows side. But if you're bringing somebody over from the Windows side to the Mac side, OneNote is something that they're going to want and that they're going to expect. And they really just people on the Mac side don't really understand that. So that's one of the things that we're looking to add right now to it and be doing in the events moving forward. And then a couple of days ago, they announced Office for iPad. And this is awesome. It's not any one individual product. It's actually each of the separate products that are by Microsoft. And those people that have an Office 365 subscription are going to be able to, to get in and do it. And it's already shipping, it's live, it's in whatnot. So the question is, as a support person or somebody advising others, what do you do with the application? What do you do with the deployment of Office 365 and Office for Mac? And how do you integrate things like, OneNote and whatnot, but also the new iPad. And so what we're working on right now on the accreditation, and it's going to happen fairly quickly, is bringing those new pieces in to the accreditation. And so, our next event is like 10 days away and whatnot, and we're working diligently to see what we can bring in there. And there's going to be more and more stuff at every event that we're doing. So it's yet another way that we're updating the content and another value add for people at these events.
We've talked about it before. The MacTech events are great. This news from Microsoft really is interesting. And the buzz here at Macworld is, they missed the boat. But that's the Macworld crowd. Yeah. The business people, in fact, I had a couple people come up to me after a session I did this morning, and they were asking, what do you think about, how seamlessly can I go from one to the other? I don't know. We haven't had a chance to test it out.
Right.
And I certainly would not want anybody to make those decisions based on just a couple days of amateur testing. Your people are going to dig into it deep and be able to give the intelligent answers people want and need.
Well, what's interesting is that, Microsoft, whenever you're talking about Microsoft Office, one of the principal things that Microsoft brings to the table that none of the other vendors really can. They each do their own thing in a good way, but what Office does better than anybody else is the compatibility and cross-platform compatibility of documents across the thing. If you send somebody a .doc file or a .docx file or an XLSX file, that when you do that, whether it's a Windows user on the other end, a Mac user on the other end, whether they're looking at an Office 365, whether you're broadcasting it out over the web, whether you're doing it as an enclosure, however you're doing it, they're going to have the same kind of experience. The document integrity is really, really high across all of the different ways that you do it. So when you look at something like Office for iPad, that's what the kind of expectation that I think that people should have. They're going to continue that experience. Are they going to want to write the next great novel on it? Well, that's not about Office, that's about the iPad, right? That's about that being a consumption device more than a production device in a lot of ways. You can do things. You can edit things, you can create presentations, you can do that's there, you can do some light editing and light creation, I would imagine, on it, but it falls into this entire Office for Mac and Office 365 ecosystem. And to me, that's what we need for the techs in the market that are making the decisions and supporting others to really understand, where do they deploy, which product, how do they support them, in which way, what are the things that they should be showing to people so that they can do the best they can with the Office line.
And to take it back to a little different level, those are the people that are going to get the frontline questions in their offices, and sometimes even in their communities about how capable are these programs right now, and how many problems do I face moving them back and forth, syncing them, keeping them in the cloud. These are all open questions right now. Your folks have to do the research and figure it out and then move on.
Yeah, and what's so nice is that we have really optimized this so that in a half a day, the afternoon before MacTech Bootcamp in each city, that they can actually, the title of the course is Microsoft Office for Mac Accredited Support Professional. The idea is that they need to be able to support what these people are going to need. They're going to need to help them with all the things that we've talked about, deployment, use, troubleshooting. These are the issues that are there. And we've really focused hard on making sure that content, along with Microsoft, with the Microsoft trainer doing it, is presented in the right and appropriate way on it, the way that Microsoft was intending it to be, because that's how to best use their products overall. So our responsibility is to get them up to speed in that half a day, get them an exam to make sure they actually learn the content, and then help them understand, help their base understand who's an accredited Microsoft support professional and who is not. And they do that through these badge icons. There's a blue and orange badge that says Office for Mac Accredited Support Professional.
The website where folks can learn more about MacTech, sign up, and get the accreditation they need.
Yep. So if you go to just mactech.com, MACTECH, /bootcamp, that's probably the easiest one to do, BOOTCAMP. They'll be able to see all about the bootcamp events, and there's links to the Office for Mac accreditation, and links as to where the cities are and all the different ways to go about registering and everything else. So.
Thank you. Neil, it's good to see you. We see you everywhere.
I seem to be going everywhere these days in here, so it's a lot of fun.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll have more from Macworld iWorld 2014 in San Francisco. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Camera work by John Zakowski of Azimuth Productions Video San Francisco at videosanfrancisco.com. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, and Facebook. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date with all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com.